to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial on this look, and I decided to use the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills Dream Glow Kit. So it's actually a very simple look. I've only used 2 eyeshadows other than the glow kit, and to be honest, you only really even need to use one. I just used 2 different types of brown. One brown would be enough. I really just wanted to show you guys how you could use this, because I know a few people will be like, okay, these are the kind of colors that are very difficult to use. Bear in mind, just because something is a highlighting kit, it doesn't necessarily mean it's just for the cheekbones. I've used it on my eyes, my brow bone, my tear duct, as well as other places as well, and I've incorporated different colors and mixed it up a little bit to come up with this kind of fresh pink spring summer makeup look. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all in the video. Bye. Hello everybody, so first I'm going to be priming my face using Sleek Makeup's Hydrating Primer, which is like a moisturizing primer, so great to use for people who've got very dry skin. Then I'm using the Louise base in the shade Rumour, and I am applying a pinprick amount to each eyelid, as a little bit goes a really long way. This is in order to prime my eyelids before I apply eyeshadows a little bit later on. Now for foundation, I'm using Sleek Makeup's LifeProof foundation in the shade LP11. This is a medium to full coverage foundation, so it's really great to use for people who've got quite a lot of pigmentation, or like me, you just like to use lots and lots of different types of foundations, especially full coverage ones. And then I am blending it all out using a Sigma 3D HD Kabuki brush. I normally tend to apply 1.5 layers. And now I'm doing my eyebrows. I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow in the shade, I think it's dark brown. And I'm using her double-sided angled and spoolie brush to fill in my eyebrows. I normally do the top, followed by the bottom, then I brush it all through to distribute the product evenly, and then just fill in the front a tiny little bit. Then I'm using her concealer in the shade number 2, and I'm just using a concealer brush now to tidy it all up, to sharpen it all, as I always do the top as well as the bottom and the sides, just to get rid of any extra eyebrows that may have grown as well. Now I'm starting to use that same brush just to blend it all out, just so that it's not too thick in any areas, before I start to blend it out properly, and blending it into my foundation using the same foundation brush I already used, as well as my finger underneath the eyes. Now for concealer, I'm using Colourpop's No Filter concealers. I tend to normally use the shade medium 28, so ignore that first one I'm using. I'm only using really the second one these days, and I'm applying it to the high points of my face as well as my under eyes, followed by just using a damp beauty sponge just to blend it all out evenly. This is a full coverage concealer as well. It's one of my favorites. I love it to bits, plus it's so affordable. Then I'm using the luxury powder in the shade Banana by Makeup Revolution, and I am now setting my concealer using a Real Techniques contour brush, and I'm just using my usual 5-second rule before I brush it all off. As you can see under the eyes, I press and drag, so that I'm pressing it into the creases so that there is no creasing. Now I'm using the Peach Perfect Mattifying Foundation and a large powder brush by Sigma, and I'm very heavily applying this all over my face, as it is hot in London. We're in the middle of a heat wave, and we've broken records and all that sort of thing, and especially in my garage where obviously there's no aircon or fan, I'm sweating to death, so I have applied it quite liberally, which is fine because it is a peach tinted foundation, or sorry, I mean powder. Now I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dream Glow Kit, and the first shade I'm using is Ethereal, and I am applying that to my brow bone area, as I want to have really beautifully shimmery eyes for this summer dream makeup tutorial. So first I'm applying that, followed by one of her eyeshadows, one of her most popular ones, which is in the shade Birkin, and I am using a Morphe M330 brush to go backwards and forwards very lightly in the crease, building up that shade, followed by the shade Unicorn from the Dream Kit, and I'm applying it using the MAC Fix Plus first off so that I can wet my brush, and I'm using the Sigma Large Shader E60 brush, and as you can see, it makes the shade really intense, even more shimmery, and stand out even more than I normally would like it to be. So just apply that liberally. Then the next shadow I'm using is the shade Bengal, also from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm going into the lash line using a Royal & Langnickel Pro Pencil Blender brush. You don't have to use 2 eyeshadows, you can just use one of either of these. I was just being a little bit extra. Now I'm using the tinted brow gel in the shade Chocolate just to set my eyebrows. As you guys know, I always tend to do it after I've done all my eyeshadows, in case any eyeshadow flecks kind of go up into the eyebrows and mess it up. so I do this last. Now I'm using my NYC Liquid Eyeliner in the shade Black. As you can see, because some of you guys don't know, sometimes you have to layer liquid eyeliners, especially if you've got quite a creamy and shimmery eyeshadow underneath. So as you can see, I'm kind of first laying down the first layer, and then I will go over that and apply another layer to make it really dark. Now I'm using the Total Temptation mascara from Maybelline just to prep my eyelashes before I apply my falsies. So, oh no, wait, first we're doing the Rimmel Kohl Kajal, sorry, Scandalize, in the shade Black, and then we are going to be prepping our eyelashes, which are the Cocoa eyelashes in the style Stellar, I think it is. These are my favorite lashes. I love to wear them all the time. So I'm applying this to my eyes. As you can see, they applied in the first go. I'm so happy. Now I'm using the Dream Kit again in the shade Magic, and again I am wetting a brush. This is the MAC 219 pencil brush, to apply it to the tear duct to make it really super shimmery, and so that it stands out and looks really gorgeous and ethereal. Now I'm using Push Up Angel mascara from Maybelline for my lower lash line, and my eyes are now done. Now we're going to move on to the face using Anastasia Beverly Hills Saddle Powder Bronzer and a Morphe M405 contouring brush. As you guys know, I've got like a kind of a sort of an ovally round sort of face, and plus foundation makes your face look really flat. So basically this is just a way of giving your face a lot more dimension. So do your cheeks, your forehead, depending on the size of your forehead. If you've got a small one, do it the way I do it, because I've got a small forehead. And then I'm just being a little bit messy over the nose. You can be more precise if you want, it's up to you. Now I'm using the Air Spun powder, which I haven't used in a while, and I am cutting and carving out the contour using a Morphe M459 contouring brush. This is just to neaten everything, to tidy it up, to make it a little bit sharper, and then I'm brushing it off using the Real Techniques contour brush. So now everything looks aligned and a lot more symmetrical. Now for blush, I'm using the shade Basically from the Pink Passion Blush Trio by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm applying it to my cheeks, the backs of my cheeks, using an e.l.f. complexion brush. And then for highlighter, I am using the shade Sunshine, which is a beautiful golden shade, and using a Morphe M405 pointed blender brush, because I prefer to use this rather than a fan brush, because this is the kind of glow kit which gets all over the place. So this kind of brush really controls where you're able to place it and stops flecks of it kind of going all over the place. So I'm just highlighting all the high points of my face which I want illuminated and looking beautiful. And then finally for the lips, I'm using another lipstick from Anastasia Beverly Hills, which is in the shade Craft, a gorgeous magenta pink shade. So I'm applying this thickly to the lips, as it's a gorgeous deep shade which really complements the eyes beautifully, which are quite soft but shimmery at the same time. And voila, my look is done. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.